Air travel chaos is unfolding across America, and it's only getting worse. As the government shutdown drags into its 7th day, a critical shortage of air traffic controllers is bringing the nation's aviation system to its knees. But here's where it gets controversial. These essential workers are being forced to show up without paychecks, and now they're reaching their breaking point. For the 2nd consecutive day, American air travelers found themselves stranded in terminals and stuck on tarmacs, as flight disruptions rippled across the country. The crisis intensified on Tuesday evening, with major hubs in Nashville, Dallas, Chicago, and Newark bearing the brunt of the chaos. The situation reached an alarming low on Monday, when the Hollywood Burbank Airport in California operated without a single air traffic controller physically present for almost 6 hours. Instead, the facility relied on remote management, a workaround necessitated by severe staffing shortages that highlight just how dire the situation has become. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy revealed troubling details about the workforce crisis. Air traffic controllers are increasingly calling in sick as the financial and emotional strain of working without compensation takes its toll. In some regions, he noted, staffing levels have plummeted to a mere 50% of normal capacity. Think about that for a moment. Half the usual number of controllers managing the same volume of air traffic. Here's the catch that makes this situation particularly contentious. Air traffic controllers are classified as essential workers, which means they're legally required to report for duty during government shutdowns, even without receiving a single dollar in payment. It's a policy that's now being tested to its limits. The numbers paint a stark picture of the disruption. By Tuesday afternoon, FlightAware reported approximately 3,200 delayed flights across the United States. The previous day saw staffing problems trigger delays ranging from 40 to 60 minutes at major airports including Newark, Phoenix, Denver, Las Vegas, and Burbank. As Tuesday evening approached, the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, took the extraordinary step of issuing a ground delay at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, one of the nation's busiest aviation hubs. Officials provided no clear timeline for when normal operations might resume. Nashville International Airport posted an official notice on Tuesday that sent shockwaves through the travel community. All incoming and outgoing flights would face reductions due to insufficient air traffic controller staffing. The airport warned passengers to expect delays and emphasized that these operational cutbacks would remain in effect until further notice. An open-ended statement that offers little comfort to travelers. Drew McQueen, a union representative with the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, didn't mince words when speaking to News Nation. He painted a picture of exhausted professionals, pushed beyond reasonable limits. Air traffic controllers didn't start the shutdown, and certainly air traffic controllers aren't going to end the shutdown. That's up to the politicians, McQueen stated bluntly. He continued with a sobering description of their working conditions. What they don't need is the fatigue of dealing with that job, while being short-staffed, working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. Now they're worried about when they'll get paid. Imagine the mental burden of guiding hundreds of aircraft safely through the skies, while simultaneously wondering how you'll cover your rent or mortgage. This marked the 2nd full day that shutdown-related staffing shortages have caused widespread airport disruptions. And there's no end in sight. The shutdown itself began on October 1st after Republican and Democratic lawmakers reached an impasse over a budget dispute. As of now, there's no clear indication when Congress will break through the political deadlock that's holding the entire situation hostage. The human cost is staggering. Roughly 40% of the federal workforce, approximately 750,000 Americans, have been placed on unpaid leave during the shutdown. Meanwhile, those deemed essential government workers must continue reporting to their jobs without any guarantee of when they'll receive compensation. And this is the part most people miss. The National Air Traffic Controllers Association, which represents over 20,000 air traffic controllers, engineers, and aviation safety professionals, has issued stern warnings to its members. The union made it crystal clear that failing to report for duty could result in termination from federal service. Participating in a job action could result in removal from federal service. The union posted prominently on its website, "It is not only illegal, but it also undermines NATCA's credibility and severely weakens our ability to effectively advocate for you and your families. It's a harsh reality. Show up without pay or lose your job entirely." This warning came on the heels of Transportation Secretary Duffy's Monday press conference, where he acknowledged a slight tick in the number of air traffic controllers calling in sick. A diplomatic way of describing what appears to be growing workforce rebellion. "You'll see delays come from that," Duffy admitted, though he emphasized that safety remains the top priority, even if it necessitates delays or cancellations. It's a reasonable stance, but one that offers little solace to stranded travelers. Duffy expressed sympathy for the controllers' predicament, acknowledging they should be able to concentrate on their demanding jobs without financial anxiety looming over them. Now what they think about as they're controlling our airspace is, "How am I going to pay my mortgage?" he said, capturing the impossible position these workers find themselves in. In an interview with Fox News, Duffy explained the regulatory response to the personnel shortage. Authorities would deliberately reduce the number of aircraft allowed in the airspace at any given time. If we don't have controllers, we're going to make sure the airspace is safe. So what we do is we'll slow traffic, Duffy stated on Tuesday. It's a safety-first approach that translates directly into longer delays and more frustrated passengers. But here's where it gets controversial. History suggests that air travel disruption might actually be the key to ending this shutdown. Back in 2019, mounting strain on the U.S. air travel system played a pivotal role in breaking a government shutdown deadlock. That shutdown had stretched into its fifth week and was severely disrupting airline operations, including critical pilot training programs. The turning point came when multiple air traffic controllers stayed home on the same day, January 25, 2019, temporarily shutting down operations at New York's LaGuardia Airport. The impact was immediate and impossible to ignore. That very same day, then-President Donald Trump, who was serving his first term, agreed to sign a short-term spending bill. The shutdown ended after 35 days. The message was clear. When air travel grinds to a halt, political action follows swiftly. So here's the question that nobody wants to ask out loud. Is widespread air travel chaos the only language that politicians truly understand? Are we watching history repeat itself, with exhausted air traffic controllers once again becoming the unwitting leverage point that forces Washington to act? What do you think? Should air traffic controllers be forced to work without pay? Or is this an untenable situation that demands immediate political resolution? Is it fair to classify them as essential while treating their compensation as optional? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because this debate is far from over.